Right now, a lot of Toronto and GTA home buyers are making a huge error in my professional opinion. And what is considered a mistake for Toronto home buyers, of course, is to the benefit of the seller and the listing side. Most Toronto home buyers are doing something that I typically recommend against, with a few exceptions. So in today's video, we're gonna cover exactly what Toronto and GTA home buyers are doing as of the recording of this video that I consider to be risky and a mistake, and how exactly it is to the detriment of the buyer, and how at the same time it is to the benefit of the seller. But before we get into that, hello everyone. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Sam, a Toronto real estate agent who actively works on the behalf of buyers and sellers across the Toronto and GTA real estate market. On this channel, we like to discuss everything having to do with the Toronto and GTA real estate market stats, market updates, building reviews, area analysis, buyer advice, seller advice, and so much more. So if you find any of this content enjoyable and informative, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. And you can find my contact information in the description box. Feel free to get in touch with me with any buying or selling inquiry, as many of you actually have from this channel. Anyways, to the point of today's video, in my most recent video where I went through some key signs that the Toronto and GTA real estate market has picked up in terms of buyer competition, one of the things I discussed in that video was the fact that we are seeing a uptick, a major pickup of firm sales, meaning homes that are selling without any protection conditions or due diligence conditions on the behalf of buyers. And that is what we refer to as firm sales. So you see, when a property is sold conditionally, such as, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm willing to give you $1,500,000 for your home, but it is conditional upon me doing my due diligence on an inspection or a financing condition or any other condition. That is what we call a sold conditional. It's not a firm and final deal. But right now, of course, as I discussed in my previous video, one major sign that the market has gotten competitive with regards to buyers competing against each other is the fact that there's a lot of firm sales, not a lot of sold conditional. So how is this important to the mistake we're going to talk about today that I believe a lot of Toronto home buyers are making? Well, what I had to cut out of that video when discussing the presence of firm sales and firm offers without any protection conditions was particularly with regards to the inspection condition. And the reason I had to cut it out of that video is because it kind of disrupted the flow of the video and it kind of was going too long. But I'm going to dedicate this entire video in terms of how Toronto home buyers are removing the inspection condition, in removing their protections in order to stand out right now for freehold properties, and why that is a huge error with potential calamitous results. First and foremost, in my opinion, just to put my cards on the table, the most important condition, the most important term that is negotiable for a buyer of a freehold property, particularly detached, semi-detached, and townhomes, but especially freehold detached properties, the most important condition is the inspection condition. For example, with condos, an inspection condition is not as important because, first and foremost, the home inspector is kind of confined to the actual interior of the condo. They cannot, inspect the balcony, the outside of the condo, or any of the common areas. And oftentimes with condos, the biggest issue that can rise is maybe a burnt fuse in the electrical panel, maybe some faulty plumbing, maybe a loose toilet, all which are maximum, maybe in the worst case, $300 to $500 fixes. However, with freehold properties, particularly detached homes, that is not the case. With detached homes, and I speak from experience, if there's something wrong with the property, whether it's a mold issue in the attic, deteriorating and dilapidated roofing, leaks or cracks in the foundation in the basement, the issue is not just a $200 to $500 fix. It can be upwards, and no exaggeration, of $50,000 sometimes to remedy these problems. And of course, that is why the inspection condition is in place, for buyers to do the proper due diligence with regards to the inspection of the property. Because imagine you spend $1.2 million on a beautiful home, what you want to become your beautiful home, and you find out that, guess what? there is a significant amount of mold behind the staircase in the basement or in the attic, or the roof was not built to code and is on its way to deteriorating and completely falling apart. So that's why the inspection condition is there in the first place. And the inspection condition allows you to back out the transaction, provided other terms, and the wording of the inspection condition is very key, but to back out the transaction if the inspection report comes up with a lot of issues that is not palatable to you. It is a buyer protection. But of course, whatever is a buyer's protection is a hindrance to the seller. And once again, I speak from both sides of the aisle. And in a moderate to hot market, so a moderate to a seller-friendly market, us, the selling side, we have way more leverage to negotiate for a firm offer, an offer that does not have an inspection condition. Because think about it from the selling side. Would you rather have $1 million today, 100% guaranteed, subject to many rare instances prior to closing? Or would you rather, not have the $1 million today for sure, have it conditional for 5 days and take your listing off of the market for 5 days and run the risk that the buyer will back out the deal in 5 business days? But on the buying side, when I'm representing the buyer, we negotiate to death to have this protection in place, because the buyer is taking on a huge risk when they are waiving this inspection condition. And this really comes down to the crux of the problem, the huge error I see happening in today's market. Look, the Toronto and GTA real estate market, with regards to freehold properties, particularly in York region, Toronto to a less of a degree, but particularly in York region, so Richmond Hill, Markham, Newmarket, Aurora, parts of Peel, parts of Durham, the market is picking up substantially with regards to buyer competition. So buyers right now, as a result of this competition, as I am seeing on the market, are mostly waiving their inspection conditions in order to successfully beat out the other buyers and beat out the competition and quote unquote win the property on offer nights. This is something I recommend against 99% of the time. Anytime I'm working with a buyer, as I am right now, who is interested in a freehold property, my professional advice and recommendation is always to have the inspection condition in place as a non-negotiable item. Because 95% of the time, the inspection does not turn up anything world-shattering. But the risk is the 5% of the time where the inspection turns up a major issue, once again, such as excessive amounts of mold in the attic. That can be dangerous. And it blows my mind anytime, when I'm reviewing the market on a daily basis, whether it's listings I've shown for buyers, whether it's listings I have an eye on for my seller clients in that street or in that community, it blows my mind when I see the property go on market for $999,000, have an offer night, receive a set amount of offers, and sell completely firm, irrespective of the price, whether the selling prices right now are higher than they would have been otherwise if the property did not go on market for offer night and did the more straightforward approach of pricing it around what they believe to be market value, or pricing it a little bit higher to leave room for negotiations. Putting the sold price aside, homes for the most part are right now selling firm, and that means every single firm sale I am seeing is another buyer who is buying blind without an inspection, and that is a huge error and risk. So ultimately, my recommendation for freehold buyers right now is either look in areas that are not that competitive, or if an area you like is quite competitive and there's a lot of listings for offer night, just wait until the market until the market for freehold properties takes a turn for the cooler, more moderate side of things, which typically in the last 3 years has been the summer. Springtime sees a lot of action. The market shifts towards a seller-friendly market. By the summer, things cool down, things relax a lot more. And of course, sellers right now, there should be more reason for you to consider selling, because not only can you get proper prices, of course, not prices anywhere near we saw in all-time highs in spring of 2022, but quite healthy and higher prices than fall of 2023, for example. So not only are you dealing with higher prices, but we as agents on your side of things have way more leverage to negotiate for firm offers. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are seeing this, and let me know if you guys would ever purchase a home without an inspection condition. I think that is a huge error, and I never recommend it to my clients. As always, for more on the Toronto and GTA real estate market, follow me for more. Thank you very much for watching. Contact information in the description box. Thank you, stay safe, and stay tuned.